compared with the length of our individual lives. Historical perspective and unerring prediction of the operations of natural law are therefore of crucial importance for humanity's survival. How will man reconcile the challenges attending his own sorry scientific invention, that is, invention of which the consequences are not sufficiently or reasonably considered? Gurdjieff, followed by J.G. Bennett, conceived man's natural role to be as an energy-transforming apparatus having a definite place in an automatic cosmic food chain. Still, Mr. Gurdjieff had a whim: to change in our time the very meaning of the word God. But why? Could it be to prepare man for an enlarged, less anthropocentric role in the universe, as a help to endlessness? What would our role be? With Gurdjieff's whim in mind, I invite you to speculate about what would happen to the remnants of our limited conception of God if we were to have conclusive popular evidence that sentient life from other worlds is visiting Earth. How would you prepare man for that circumstance? Would you build a giant radio telescope to receive and broadcast extraterrestrial messages, or write and film science fiction? Perhaps you might wish to write a book like The Tales, an unequaled allegorical space opera with remarkable men, devils, archangels, and a remote father, fantastic means of interstellar locomotion, arcane atmospheric dangers, and so on. A book that metaphorically transmits natural and moral lawful lesson and method. The idea that man is not alone is not new, of course. Formerly we read about the possibility in fairy tales and in science fiction, roughly beginning in 1620 with Edwin A. Abbott's Flatland, Jonathan Swift's 1726 Gulliver's Travels, and more famously with Jules Verne's 1865 From the Earth to the Moon, the latter being, since 1969, fiction no more. In 1869, aficionados of Verne's story were called loonies, or lunatics. Luna is the Latin word for the moon. But we don't hear those expressions much today, as we find the idea of interstellar travel familiar, or at least conceptually. While moon shooters were considered loonies not so long ago, we've had over 100 years of sci-fi in print, movie, and broadcast. Recently, astronomers have found evidence that there are Earth-like planets in the known universe. Gurdjieff hints that life there is likely, carbon-based or not, to be three-brained, like us. On the other hand, isn't it surprising that, given the long wavelength of thought energies, we aren't communicating directly with them? Perhaps some of us are, but we don't have much to share yet. Semi-concretely, there is plenty of anecdotal evidence, myths and drawings of ancient astronauts, unusual maps and puzzling artifacts, as well as YouTube videos of perhaps the real thing. The list attached to this program will give you some background. It's interesting to ponder the effect that the first direct-to-the-public alien contact would have. Reflect on the newly minted shrinking world instant immediacy of Twitter, cell phone GPS cameras, and 24-hour network news, whereby, as shown by Orson Welles' production of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds in 1930, Chicken Little and the boy who cried wolf can now, so to speak, more easily yell fire in a crowded theater. But consider just one symptom of our times. Would the vast wasteland of reality television, X Factor, and talk radio ever be the same? Apple's new saucer-shaped office building on a 150-acre property in Cupertino will have a diameter of 1,615 feet, more than twice the base of the Great Pyramid, 756 feet, and more than the diameter of the Pentagon, 1,566 feet. It will be visible by telescope from other planets, and will join other such large structures, pyramids, earth drawings, etc., which have that beacon-like distinction. We can expect the Apple office's unitary glass ring window construction will be quite a reflector of light, much more than the missing capstone of the Great Pyramid. Remarkable tools disrupt vulnerable industries and create new successful ones. Through PIXAR, Jobs disrupted animated movies and became Disney's largest shareholder. Some of the industries that Apple has disrupted are typesetting, publishing, layout, printing, photography, information consumption, music recording, entertainment retailing, information retailing, consumer retailing, cell phones, and learning. Soon to be added is television sets. Had Steve lived longer with the influence of Apple, I'm convinced that he would have thoroughly disrupted and modernized the two biggest problem industries in the United States, education and healthcare. Let's hope that Apple management or someone is up to the task. This is a timeline of Steve Jobs' tools. 1976, Apple I. The juxtaposition of Apple with computer was to soften and paradox. 1978, Apple II and III, text-based, word processing, spreadsheet, primitive email, personal micro. 1981, Lisa, graphics-based, mouse, desktop, folders, trash, menus for consumers. 1984, Macintosh, transportable with Mac Paint and Mac Draw. 1984, Mac Production, a robot factory in Fremont, California. 1985, the Laser Writer, desktop publishing. With it, Jobs saves Apple and boosts desktop sales. 1986, Macintosh Plus, and Steve Jobs leaves Apple. 1986 to 1997, poor leadership and slow innovation at Apple. Flops were Newton and the Portable. 1989, the Mac Portable. Laptop, trackball, heavy, clunky, a flop. But email saved the computing industry. Apple is 3 months from bankruptcy. 1997, Steve Jobs returns and saves Apple by consolidating the product lines. He changed the name from Apple Computer to Apple Inc. 2001, the iPod. The digital Walkman. Jobs' greatest genius move, music-driven. It was a combination of Sound Jam, a program that Apple purchased, and an IBM miniature hard disk, and possibly his vision of the digital hub. 2001, iTunes, a librarian, a device manager, and sales of music, movie, TV, books, news, etc. For it, Jobs persuaded the music, movie, TV, book, and newspaper industries. 2001, the Apple Store. This flattened retailing and has a captive audience. 2003, Xcode. Integrated, rapid development platform for iOS and OS X. 2005, iPod Shuffle. Tiny solid-state iPod. 2007, iPod Touch. iPhone without the phone for music, video, games, and apps. 2007, iPhone. Phone plus email plus computing apps and games plus iPod plus GPS plus cameras, clock, compass, altimeter, time and space. AT&T was an important player, and Jobs persuaded them. 2007, iTunes University, a consortium of colleges giving away free courses through iTunes. 2008, the Mac Air, light, thin, unibody, minimalist, portable Macintosh. 2008, Unibody. This is carved solid aluminum chassis for portable computers. It's laser carved. 2008, MacBook Pro. Apple finally perfects the Power Portable 10 years after the first portable. 2010, Apple TV, a couch potato appliance for your LCD. 2010, iPad, a larger iPhone, iPod Touch. 2012, iTV. The form factor is unknown at this writing. Apple's disruptive products make us generally smarter and more productive. As with paper and pen, the intelligence of the materials attracts the intelligence of the user. These products are intelligence amplifiers. They are especially useful for second brain functions, such as seeing and hearing. They excel at imaging, which is essential for all the brains, but is particularly valuable for second brain function. Learning and play. For example, games, music, and art. Also, the form factors of Apple products are artistically delightful and invite aesthetic appreciation. They enhance the experience of information consumption and put one in the mood to create. They appeal to artists. Communication. For example, visual teleconferencing and media production. Collaboration. They have a standardized user interface and are consistently easy to use, which invites group play and fun. Faith. Upgrades produce increasingly faithful images, visual and oral, static and dynamic. Hope. We expect Apple products to be constantly updating and improving. We hope for them. Love. Like the products of careful craft, they are quintessential distillations of countless person-hours of intelligent attention and countless rounds of selection. The products that survive this process have a kind of character like a good basket. This is unusual for a mass-produced item. Conscience. They increase our capacity to efficiently perform obligatory tasks. The Apple product list includes many majorly disruptive second brain tools. Apple I-2-3 introduced the personal computer. Lisa introduced the desktop metaphor. Macintosh packaged the desktop simply and affordably. LaserWriter was Gutenberg in a box, beautiful typography and layout in the hands of all. iPod can put a complete music library in your pocket, plus podcasts and videos. iTunes intelligently manages media and devices with millions of downloads. The Apple Store allows Apple to improve retailing unimpeded by resellers. Xcode. Over 500,000 apps are available in 2012. This is astounding. iPhone. An integrated PC, iPod, and phone. It lowered the cost of apps and media delivery. It restructured software prices to 99 cents or free and streamed movies to $4. iTunes University. Learn anything, anywhere, anytime. Apple TV. Apple has accelerated the demise of television. The result, of course, is pro-education. iPad. The Internet in your hand. A high-touch digital reader.